record thing. I still got to upload other videos from before, but. All right, let's see. I didn't take very good notes from last session, so we're going to kind of wing it here. You guys started on the outskirts of Valakai. You were riding along with Ismark and Irina to basically deliver her to this town of a safe haven of sorts. And we picked it up there. Outside of the gate, you guys talked to the guards for a few, ended up getting into the town. Irina was badly injured, so she was basically at 1 hit point. She wasn't necessarily unconscious, but she was completely dazed and not with it. So Ismark was being concerned, wanted to head to the church right away in hopes that they might be able to help him. Mud, you tried. You're not sure how much your healing helped her because of the whole corruption thing, but at least it seemed to at least stabilize her for the time being anyway. So you guys headed to the church, St. Andrew's Church, and you met Father Lucian there. Seemed like a nice enough guy. He took Ismark in as well as Irina, his assistant. A younger man decided to help him out. What was his name? Gert. And let's see, Mornak and Vasily and Victor, you guys headed in while Mud, you headed out back to help start digging a grave for their father who you'd brought with you. Inside, you guys talked to Father Lucy, and he assured you that both Irina and Ismark, would be safe there at the church. You all recognize, well, Victor didn't, but Mornak, Vasily, and Mud, you guys instantly recognized Gert, this younger man with this burnt side of his face from way back at the Goat's Horn Inn, what seemed to be forever ago. Mud, you noticed this and smashed the window as you were sticking your head through trying to warn the others about this kid, but he had absolutely no clue what you were talking about. After a bit of discussion, you realized that whether he was the same kid, Lyle from the Goathorn Inn, or Gert now, you're not really sure, but he seemed decent enough and was actually intent on helping you, though he had a bit of a wild side and liked to party down at the whorehouse now and then, contrary to Father Lucian's desires. Ultimately, he took Irina Ismark back, and the church sort of went into rest as you guys headed back out. Mud, out back in the graveyard, you met Milovaj, a larger, dim-witted sort of fellow who was digging graves. He showed you his pet bird that he kept in his pocket, which was dead, and told you about the love affairs and his hot dates that he had planned for the evening. He took quite a liking to Vasily, calling him a furry. You decided against your better judgment that perhaps now would not be a good time to hang out with Milovaj and dig ditches with him. So you guys left him to his thing, decided to go ahead and bury Ismark and Irina's father in the morning once Irina was back up and running. Left the place there, spoke with Father Lucian a short bit, and again he assured you that they'd be perfectly fine at the church for the night. You headed back to town to do the Blue Water Inn. It was run by looked to be a family, an older woman, older man, and their 2 younger children who seemed to be running around the place. Seemed to be pretty busy for the time being. There was some hunters that were hanging out there for the evening, a couple lunkhead bartender guys that were over in the corner talking. There was a carnival-looking fellow who was eating dinner, and a bunch of other townspeople here and there. You spoke with them a little bit, trying to get an idea of where you were and what was going on. You spoke to the woman whose name was Danica Malikov, right? Yeah. And Erwin Malikov, the 2 owners of this place. They hooked you up with some good drinks, some good food, and rooms for the evening. Father Lucian said to let them know that he sent you down and your rooms would be covered for the evening. Across the way, as you guys were talking about how to get out of here or escape from this place, you attracted the attention of 2 fellows across the room. They thought you were talking about this town of Valakai, and started off a little bit of a ruckus, inciting the crowd a little bit and telling them that they needed to revolt and to do something about Burgomeister Vargas Valakovich. And they sort of misunderstood what you were talking about, Mud, at that, but after talking to him a little bit, they mentioned that Mother would make a better burgo mistress of the town and take it to where it needs to go and bring it from the darkness into the light and so on and so forth. You all agreed quickly to that, maybe that would be a good thing until you realized that they were speaking of Mother, whom you have past acquaintances with, at least Mornak does, and he's told you about. So after intimidating these two younger fellows, a bit of a lunkheads, they're larger, beefy kids, but not all that smart. They told you that they couldn't go wake up their mother because she is quite ornery and tends to smack people with her bedpan if you wake her in the middle of the night. But you could come see her in the morning, and they showed you a house further down the way, the Wachter house. Told you that she would, take you in and speak with you and about her ideas and where the town should go and so on and so forth. But for whatever reason, you weren't quite sure about these fellows and roughed him up a little bit and decided to drag him inside to kidnap him for the evening. Mornak seemed to be a little bit shaken between the corruption that he gathered from before as well as this whole situation going on. Vasily said screw it and headed up to bed so that he could get some rest for the evening. He looked pretty weary, and Victor is in the corner just mumbling to himself and eating his dinner. Seems to be rather upset that his imaginary friend left, and he's had a bad day anyway. Anything that I missed or that you guys want to add?
I mean, we can subtract the kidnapping part.
Well.
No, that's about right.
From what I know of Mud, I think that's probably the most accurate statement we can make, most likely.
Pretty much. All right. All right, Cam, for your character, we're going to go with kind of what you had for the background there. I have a small intro we'll do with you, kind of RP a little bit here. And it'll sort of flow into the current scene and stuff. And then I'll swap over to them, run their scene as this going on, and then sort of meld it all together. All right. Any last bits before we start? Everybody good? All right. So what is your character's name?
It's Dre.
Dre.
Top of the chat there.
Gotcha.
Excuse me.
Dre. And you are human, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well then, Dre, your vision is blurred red by the bloods that's clouding your eyes. You can feel this fear that wells up in your gut. It's like a bile in your esophagus that burns at your throat. And it seems nearly impossible to swallow back down. You saw what this devil had done to the mage moments ago over the falls. And now he stands across the room from you, just a red smear against this pale darkness of the room. You filthy, insolent maggot, he spits. He lifts his hand, just another blur of color, and it feels like something grabs a hold of your throat. You can feel blood spilling from your mouth as your tongue begins to rip free. What is your strength?
It is 10.
And this burning sensation, it fills your mouth, and you can feel the blood just pouring down your chin. Gonna take... You're not gonna just put this as like temporary damage or whatever, but 9 points of damage that you take. And you can feel you step back a few feet. What do you do?
The first instinct, I guess, is to, based on Dre's profession as a soldier, is to find anything within reach to fight back, because he knows that as soon as he gives up, that's it. So he's looking around, he's scrambling, he's doing his very best to clench his jaw to keep his tongue from being separated from the back of his throat, and looking for anything, a table leg or an old shoe. He'll use anything. He's not particularly worried.
Glance around. When you came into this room, you had already lost most of your gear that you had. You're going to have whatever kind of armor you have on, but your pack or sword or anything like that is missing at the moment. You can't really remember why, where, what, or what this is that's going on. Just this fear and this image of this creature, this man and this wizard battling each other, and then you're here in this room. The room is mostly it looks like a bedroom of some sort. It's smashed up pretty good. There's some broken pieces of bed frame, a round table, a couple shattered pieces of glass. The window behind you looks like it goes out onto a balcony that's completely shattered. Bits of iron and glass around your feet.
So knowing that he's still wearing his armor, he feels a sense of assurance and feels for a small little sheath that sits at the small of his back for hopefully his lucky dagger.
Sure, it is there. Your lucky
And
day.
the lucky dagger's there, and he will just attempt to throw the lucky dagger.
All right. Go ahead, do an attack roll.
Sure. So just a d20.
Yep, it's going to be a d20 plus whatever your strength modifier is, and then I think a fighter. I'm not sure if the Galen does, but you might have a boon or something to an attack, depending on whatever your abilities are.
Yeah, I do have one boon.
Okay.
So that would be a d6 as well.
Yep, correct. A d6, and you just add it.
Cool. So that'd be 12. Oh, it's not looking good. 12 plus 4 is 16.
16. You can see it spin through the air, this reddish smear, this form of this man in front of you. It seems to flicker a little bit, pixelates. And you hear the thud of the dagger as it hits the wall. And
Oh, actually, I beg your pardon. That would be no, I lied. That would be 21 because I use my agility.
yes, finesse. All right, in that case, then, yeah, you hear a thud into you're guessing maybe the chest or the side or something of this person. You hear a small grunt sort of sound. You can see this figure, the blurs, as it moves around. It looks like it reaches down. You can hear the clatter of your dagger as it falls to the floor. And he begins to stride forward. Slowly comes into view somewhat. It looks like an older gentleman, maybe in his mid-50s, fairly well built. And he's just covered in blood, gore, gashes. You can see where your dagger hit and looks to be in his abdomen area, and the blood still there, pooling around his feet. In his hands, he has this long sword. It glows almost like a dull bluish purple sort of color, almost like a black light would. You can feel as it sinks into your gut. I'm going to assume a 24 hits. And it burns and it pains as he rips this thing free.
Could I make an attempt to stop him from ripping it free by grabbing maybe his arm and pulling myself closer to him?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's going to be 18 points of damage. Are you still up?
Oh, yeah. I am not. No, I'm starting to black out.
So it'll plunge in as you grab this blade, sort of slide yourself forward, maybe under the blade. You can feel that he grabs a hold of your throat, lifting you up a little bit as he walks you forward. You can feel this cold breeze around you as he steps out onto the balcony. Your feet brush over top of the handrail. What do you do?
Could I grab my lucky dagger and just try to pull it up?
Totally.
I kind of get a feeling I know what's going to happen next, so I want to just do as much damage to him as I can before. I have a feeling that I'm in this room for a reason, and that reason might be to protect the person that's obviously been killed by the looks of things. But I guess my last hurrah, my last attempt would be to get even if I can't save the man's life that I've failed to save. So I'd love to just grab the hilt of my lucky dagger and try and sort of ride that up.
Go for it.
Oh, baby! Oh, man, that's not good. That's an 8.
It feels like it strikes something, but you can see your vision blacking out quickly. And you hear another little grunt from this figure that's holding you. You can see these piercing red eyes that glare into your soul almost. Then you hear the snap in
Oh,
this grip onto your arm as it feels like it's just getting wrenched free from the socket. And then your other arm, same thing. It just gets ripped from the socket. You can feel this burning in your stomach. This blade is there just constantly. It's just almost like an unholy sort of cold, but it burns, an infernal pain. And everything starts to go black. Darkness swells into your eyes. And you see this last glimpse of this smiling man just covered in blood and gore. Sharp, fanged teeth, piercing red eyes, sort of pale colored, not really gray, not really blue, but sort of some strange shade in between, but pearly, opalescent white teeth that smile and grin back. Your body hurts. Surely
how
your
close
ribs.
am I? How close am I to the end of this, to the edge of this balcony?
He's holding you right at the edge on the railing.
Uh, so I've lost, I guess, the use of my arms.
Yep.
Could I attempt to wrap my legs around him and kind of like throw my body backwards over the railing?
Yeah, totally, if you want to, yeah. Are you going
Come on, baby.
to... I guess you go against his strength, actually. In that, are you trying to pull him with you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're going to go against his strength, which is an 18.
Come on. Okay. And then I would roll that with. So is that just a flat D20?
Being that you're trying to use your body, you can use agility. So it's going to be 1d20 plus your agility modifier. Do you have any sort of profession or something that might make sense to help you give a boon?
No, just my time as a soldier, I guess, would have made me a little bit more adept at these close quarter situations. But, you know, as a soldier, you've never really had your arms ripped out of their sockets when you're in the middle of a fight. So I guess this will just be a flat D20s. Come on, baby! It's killing me. 7. No way near.
Yeah, you can feel your legs kick out, and it seems to sort of just brush them off. You can feel the strength that this man holds. One arm wrapped around your throat as he just lifts you up like a child, lets you dangle over this balcony. You kick, you can thud against his chest a few times, and you just hear this soft chuckle.
I hate him. I really hate him. And I hate this app. I'm going to get my dice in 2 seconds.
No, you can hear the wind that's screaming around this balcony, and this cold breeze. The burning in your gut seems to be gone. Your vision starts to fade away. And you might have been able to fight back had he not ripped your arms loose. You might have been able to scream, but no, you can't even feel the tongue in your mouth. You're not even sure if it's there anymore. Just blood just pouring down your chin. But none of that matters. It's over. Nothing now but to pray for the end. Maybe it's a blessing to be done with this forsaken world that you were dragged into. And it's only fitting to die once more by falling.
Brutal.
And with that, we'll swap over to you other guys for a moment. As we last left, Mornak was sitting out front at the bench, finishing his glass of wine. Victor was inside eating the last of his dinner. And Mud, you had this young man. His name is Nikolai. Or no, you had Carl. You have Carl held in your hands, and you were turned around to walk back in. Give me a strength check, please. And it's
Yes, sir.
just a d20 plus your strength mod.
14.
Turn around with Carl gripped in your hands. This kid, he's maybe 6 feet, so you probably have him lifted up about a foot off the floor. So turn around, and it feels like you just hit a cement wall. Look, and just kind of move Carl to the side a little bit, and you see the bartender. His name was Irwin, standing there. This large, he's more, not really built beefy, but he's quite hefty and obese, maybe only about 6 feet tall as well. But bumping into this guy just felt like you were smacking into a wall. He says, You don't need to be bringing that lad back in here. It's best if you let him go. Trust me on this one, friend.
I think I'll glance back to Mornak for guidance on this one.
If you know what's wise, you should listen to us. We've been around a bit longer than you have, friend. And what you're doing won't end well. You should let the lad go. You can speak to his mother in the morning, but bringing him back in here, no, we won't have that.
Is there a... Well, no, I'll keep looking at Mornak for a second, but in the meantime, is there a pile of mud or horse crap or something nearby?
Yeah, there's probably a trough, and you know,
Alright.
they have the horses tied out front, yeah.
So I'll look to Mornak for guidance on this one.
Mornak's going to stroke his chin for a moment while he thinks about it, and then he's going to say, "Very well. It's their mother I want anyways."
So I'll turn the guy's face towards me and give him a nice smile with all my broken teeth in one eye. Look towards a pile of mud or something, and then throw him into a post instead.
You see him smash into this thing and sort of slide down onto his ass. His friend or his brother hurry over and starts lifting him back up, trying to dust him off. And Carl will look at you. Has a bit of a, not really an angry, but a vengeful sort of look on his face. But as you look at him, you look down the street a little ways, you can see a figure in the distance standing there. Quite large, maybe a little bit taller than even yourself. And quite, looks like he has some sort of armor wrapped around his body. The whole side of the left side of his body looks significantly larger than his right side, almost mutated or something, deformed. And you can see just a silhouette of black down the streets. And then he turns and starts walking away, disappearing down the side alley. Carl will look around, and then him and Nikolai, assuming you guys don't stop, just make a bolt for it down the street.
I won't stop them, but are they bolting in the same direction as that silhouette?
No, it looks like they're headed to their house. They pointed their house down the street. It looks like they're heading in that direction.
What's got them so spooked?
I would guess your friend is lifting them off the floor and throwing them around like they're egg doll.
Is that all?
Is that silhouette I've seen still in sight at all?
For a few seconds as he's basically turning away.
Long enough for me to point them out to everybody else?
Yeah.
Seems we have a follower or a watcher.
You'll feel a heavy, strong hand on your shoulder, Mud, sort of pull you in. And Erwin will look at you and, Monak, come, hurry up.
Mornak goes over.
You see Erwin just shut the door behind him. This is probably a good time to get some rest for the night. You've had a bit of excitement already, eh? Don't want to have too much excitement around here and catch the attention of the gods and have them throw a bit of a ruckus and everybody will get worked up. No, have a bit of drink. Yes. Bit of drink and finish your food. Father Lucian says he has your rooms for the night. Says, I only have 2, so you have to bunk, but they're comfortable. And he'll sort of look out the window and then start to sort of walk back over to the bar.
Erwin, what was that? Who was that?
What? That's... His name is Isaac. He is what you call the constable, or what's a better term? The head of the guard here in Valakai. A cruel bastard of a man. We try to not get in his way. It's easier that way. Says if you're smart, you would do the same. You know, do what you need to do here and maybe get out. It's not as lovely as they claim it to be here. But well, that is neither my business nor anybody else's. I simply run the tavern, bring the people the wine, and feed them good food. Well, hopefully our shipment comes in soon. It's been delayed for quite a while, and well, the Burgermeister tends to get a bit upset when he doesn't have his wine. So hopefully it'll work out. It'll work out. Yes, it'll work out.
Do you have no other wine? Even the cheap stuff?
He'll turn it. I wish, my friend. He says, no, the wizards of the winery, they're the only winery here in these lands. They provide all the wine that is cast amongst the towns. He says, but I have not had a delivery in nearly 3 weeks. Very rare. He says, I'm down to, well, looks like you had my last bottle of the crush. I have a cask of the dragon's bit, but beyond that, we're down to droplets.
Do you know by any chance why the shipment's been delayed?
Probably that's bastard of an old man. Me and him, we don't see eye to eye very well, but no, he's always kept his word. That's true. He's always kept his word. He's been here. I pay him. He brings the wine. Says, I hope something didn't happen. Granted, the man is an asshole, but, well, I still don't wish bad upon anybody. I wish I knew. But I fear that, well, if we don't get it soon, then the Burgermeister and he'll be quite furious. And, well, he's got the festival coming up and the whole burning sun thing, and he just shakes his head. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure something out.
So, how much would you be willing to pay for the wine to be, resumed its normal business?
I don't know. We often give him a couple $100 gold for the delivery, so perhaps maybe a bit more if you can see what the issue is. So I'm not much of a haggler. I just like to serve up a drink and the food, but I've never had anybody ask such thing.
Victor's going to actually look to the rest of the party and see, what their thoughts. Like, at the moment, it's just like an idea in his head. So he's not like going to press it any further, but he's just kind of looking to the party.
Mornak's going to throw his hands up and be like, this is an emergency. We have to go on this quest. The quest for more wine.
Victor's going to, at that statement, he's going to be like, surely the need for the coin for us would be a little bit more pressing than the wine. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have, my pockets lined full of gold.
Well, it's a win-win then.
May also curry us enough favor to get out of this hellhole.
Well, and it sounds like the Wizards of Wine kind of travel all over this place, so maybe they would know a way out, if anyone.
Erwin sort of just leans over the bar, listening to this. And, the old man that runs the place, he's well, as I said, he's a bit of a jerk, but he's quite smart. He knows a lot of things. So if you're looking to get out of here, then, well, you'll have to forgive me asking, why do you want to leave if... And then his eyes widen a little bit and says, where are you from? Now that I think about it, he says, we don't have orcs here anymore. They died long time ago. I'm sure there's perhaps a few bits around here and there. The goblins crop up now and then. And, well, that other fellow, I just figured he was a hairy human of some sort, but who knows. But no. You don't have the same dress. There's something different. Where are you from?
Is he directing that statement at like all of us or just like one particular person?
No, just in general, all of you. As he sort of looks, across all of you standing there.
We were mostly travelers, but this place is new to us. I hail from the long thaw, the great tundra.
The great tundra. Of course. And what about you, Elf? You realize that there's probably not many like yourself still left. Most of the maidens have all been slaughtered by the devil's servants. There's a few men like yourself about. Casimir up at the camp. But no, we don't see elves very often either. And, it might be wise if you wash your back, friend. Not a threat from me, of course. Just a warning.
I don't think I'm actually here. I think I'm still in my cell where the hag kept me. That's why I have to see Mother tomorrow. I have to get free.
Victor's gonna reach out and like poke Mornak like on the shoulder, like to see if like, mostly because of the comment he made, like, and wondering like if Victor is like trapped in his cell still. So he's just gonna like poke him to see if like what he's feeling is real.
Mornak does pull away from the poke.
Okay, so you don't let me touch you?
No.
Then
No,
Victor's...
he's freaking out. Right now he's having another one of those visions of all the elves being slaughtered.
Okay, then in that case, Victor's going to reach out towards Mud and see if Mud will let him poke him.
Be well, just kind of give you a very alarmed look. People don't normally touch me. And he'll actually say that. What are you doing?
Well, he's talking about not being here, and I'm seeing if I'm actually here, so you're real, or at least you feel like you're real. So I don't think I'm in my cell. Maybe you're here too, Mornak, and just don't realize it. Maybe it's all that wine that you've been drinking. If you cut back, just a little bit,
well,
that may
I
help.
apparently have to now. There's a shortage. What's the world come to? There's a shortage of wine. And he's just going to break down and start crying.
You weren't born drinking wine. Like, you can live without it.
Well, I suppose I could try, but...
At this point, I think either way, tomorrow's the day to do anything, whether it be find the mystery of the missing wine or see to Mother.
Wait. What's... I missed something. I was eating my food, but what's the deal with Mother? It's not my mother, is it? God, I hope not.
No, it's the hag that had imprisoned Mornak. She goes by Mother.
No. Victor's asking this, like, not me, the player. Victor is actually asking, like, what, because he kind of was off in his own little world and was ignoring everything that was happening. So he is asking, like, is it his mother? Because he doesn't want to see her.
Things have passed mostly, Victor. We'll see what we see. Best to rest up.
I'm kind of wondering if, no offense when I say this, but if y'all's past isn't going to come up and haunt us. Because it seems like, and of course I know I'm one to talk here, but it seems like all of us have an extremely dark past that seems to be haunting each and every one of us. But maybe you're right. Maybe we should rest for now and see about tomorrow.
Erwin, I'll toss a key over to you, Mud, and one over to Victor and Mornak, and points at you, Mud, and he says, the goat fellow already took a room upstairs, but you guys can bunk up there. Father Lucian paid already. Says, but if you have interest in looking into that whole wine thing, then, well, I'll be happy to pay. Perhaps it's nothing. But yeah, even if not, at least getting the wine back here, that will save a bit of trouble. And he'll again glance out the window, sort of with this, not really nervous, but an obviously concerned sort of look on his face. But it's getting late, yes. And he'll turn and start headed back to the kitchen. You can hear him talking in the back, sort of in hushed whispers, and with his wife. But anybody can give me a perception check, but just on basics, you can't really hear what they're talking about.
Not big.
22.
Right. And if you're listening with those fancy elven ears of yours, it seems like he's mentioning to her that a lot of you are interested in looking into this winery thing. And he seems to be arguing, not really arguing, but trying to convince her that perhaps this is a good thing, that perhaps you might be somebody who is willing to help the town and help them and bringing back the wine. And maybe this is a chance for them to find somebody else.
I didn't want to interrupt, but Victor rolled a 21 as well. So
Right. You would hear about the same thing then, yeah.
So in that case, is one of us going to try to? I guess Victor's asking as he's walking up the stairs with you two. Are we going to one of us try to bunk with Vasily, or are we just going to leave him alone?
I'll bunk with Vasily. He's better acclimated to my environment.
You can see there's 4 doors upstairs. One of them has a sign on it that is already occupied, and it looks like it's more of a larger, fancier sort of room, a upper scale, a suite of sorts that's already been taken. The rest of you have small keys. They open into just little side rooms. One is completely empty. The other 2, the keys you have, just open into a pair of rooms, 2 beds, 2 cots anyway, small wash basin, some small chest at the foot. Nothing fancy, just your typical inn sort of room. Vasily is going to be, well, I guess in your case, Mud. In the room that you have, he's already clonked out on the bed, whether it be the wine or himself, you're not sure, but
I'll throw the blankets from my bed over on him and do my normal where I'll open any windows to get it as cool in the room as possible.
outside you can hear the sounds of peepers and crickets, and it seems almost like a typical fall sort of night back home. Still a little bit uneasy. You can hear a cat screech now and then, but comfortable nonetheless as you lay down. Victor and Mornek, do you guys do anything before heading into your own room?
I'm going to pull Victor over and I'm going to go, did you hear what they were saying?
I caught most of it, I think.
I did too.
What do you think they meant by that last bit they said?
Really, I don't know. But I think maybe I might wander around later and see if I can read anybody's mind to see if I can pick anything up.
Quick question, Morgan. We're on the second story, right?
Yes. Yep.
But we're not in our room yet, or
I went into his, but I guess the two of you would be standing outside your door in the hallway.
okay. I'm gonna kind of peek in. And is there a window in the room? Like in our room? Like that's the room I'm peeking into.
Yes, to outside, you mean?
Yeah.
Like the window? Yeah.
Okay. Is it like an easy way for him to get in and out of that? Like, is there like I guess a balcony or?
I mean, it's not too far off the ground, really. Second story, but I mean, there'd be, eaves, trough, and stuff like that.
Okay.
If you want, you could climb down without a problem if you needed to.
Is it like facing the street, or is it like the back?
It would be
Back
to the
half.
side alley because the street's in the front of the tavern. You'd be on the left-hand side of it.
Okay. I'm going to look towards Mornak and say, maybe you should exit out this way, and I'll leave a way for you to get back up a little bit easier so you won't be spotted. Hopefully, anyways.
That's a good idea. Mornak's going to go over to his pack and pull out his length of rope.
Almost at the same time, like Victor went to his pack and was pulling out his, but then when he sees you getting yours, he'll just like slide his back in his backpack.
There's that one awkward moment where they both have it.
Lock eyes for a moment.
If music starts playing, I'm out of here. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Are you waiting for a while more next? Like for people to go to bed, or are you just heading down now to see what you can? Downstairs, you can see it's mostly emptied out. People went to bed. You saw that circusy bard guy head off into that suite room. Most of the other people left the tavern. And the owners has sent the kids up to bed. They'll go past your door and down towards the end of the hall to a side room. It looks like maybe the owners' bedrooms or something. But the two adults, Erwin and Danica, would be downstairs cleaning the kitchen.
Okay. I want to go ahead and have Victor help secure the rope, and then Mornak's going to go ahead and climb out because the one person whose mind he wants to read is this innkeeper's.
Okay.
Unless you like need some super elaborate detail, Morgan, on how to tie the rope off. Like I just kind of plan on like tying it to the bed kind of deal. And then while waiting for Mornak to get back, Victor's just gonna like lay in the bed, not going to sleep, but he's gonna like kind of rest himself just in case if anything does come up and he needs to be at the ready. But other than that, then once Mornak does come back, unless he wants to chat, then Victor will probably pass out after he gets back.
All right. So Mornak, it's a pretty quick climb down, not a big deal at all. As you scale down the side of the building and go around the back side of the inn. It has a door open on the back side. You can see they've taken some garbage out and stuff like that. And you'd be sort of in the side alley looking into the back side of the tavern where the kitchen is and like the garbage pile that they have gathered up. You can see Erwin step out and toss a few bags on there, and he'll take a rag from his pocket and mop his forehead. Seems to be sweating quite a bit as he's cleaning up. Just sort of stands there for a second, breathing in the cool night air, glances around, and sort of stares up at this starless black sky, and takes a deep breath before getting ready to turn around and head back inside.
Okay. Mornak's going to go ahead and cast, I guess Share Thoughts is what I want to cast.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try and get an idea of what he's thinking about right now.
Gotcha. More just basically trying to read his mind so they communicate, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay. He doesn't seem to really be speaking or anything, but as he looks off, you can see this image of what looks to be a winery. Just plantations of grapes scattered in all directions, these large vats. And you see this image is sort of looking through his eye, so it's sort of a point of view sort of image. As he looks down, and in his hand is this small purple gemstone. You can see he places it into his pocket. Then the image shifts, and it looks like you're almost like flying above the land itself. You can see these trees just scattered off in distance all the way around you. Is this aerial view. You can see in the distance the winery, see small town, ruins of what looks to be some maybe temple or something. You can see this castle that you've passed by a couple times in the distance, silhouetted against the sky. And then you see stables, and looking down on horses, you see what looks to be 15, 20, 30, 40 ravens all over the place, nests, hatchlings, all scattered about in these stables, squawking. And then you see a simple, it looks like a feather, a black feather, but it's made of maybe opal or obsidian or some sort of stone, some sort of solid material. And it's buried down in the ground. You can see a hand reach down as it's trying to like scuff the dirt off of it. And then everything just goes black. And you can see Erwin stop as he's getting ready to step inside, and he glances around. Who's there? Who's out here? And he'll take a step out and glance around.
Mornak's going to try and stealthily stay really close to the building so that he doesn't notice him.
Go ahead and give me an agility check. Give yourself a boon.
That's going to be a 19.
You see him look around, and then he takes a few steps in your directions. You sort of press yourself up against the side of this building in the alleyway, melting into the shadows a bit, and he'll walk up almost right to the corner. You can hear his breathing. You can see the ends of his beard puffed out on this huge belly that he has. You best be gone from here, fiend. Nobody likes to have their thoughts listened to. And you'll hear this almost sounds like a screeching sound echo in your mind for a moment, Mornak, and then you just hear his foot stepping away and the door closed to the kitchen.
Okay. He'll go ahead and go back to the rope and scale back up.
You'll see him come back through Victor. You can see Victor on the bed.
Mornak's going to go ahead and relay it all to Victor, and that he pretty much got caught. And then Mornak's going to go and knock on Mud's door to see if he can wake him up.
Yeah, I would think as long as this isn't hours in.
Yeah, probably only like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. So actually, this is probably the first time you've seen a muddle open the door, and he's down to just like his fur pants. But those scars on his neck travel all the way up and down his chest as well. Some look intentional, like carvings, and others just look like battle wounds. But he is a tapestry of scar tissue. And you'll probably also see, since he's getting ready to go to bed, he's not wearing his fur-lined eye patch. So you'll see just a black gaping hole in one side of his face.
Mornak's going to take a step back looking at Mud, and then he's going to look him kind of up and down. He's going to sigh really heavy, and then he's going to go ahead and convey to Mud everything that he found out from the innkeeper's vision, and then pretty much that I got caught. So I know I was reading their mind.
We'll have to tread carefully. These crows again. I don't know if these blackbirds are good or bad for us, but they keep showing up. We'll get some rest. We need to deal with Mother in the morning.
Aye. And then Mornak will go ahead and go back and attempt to go to sleep.
Okay. You guys will all basically get a long rest per se. So you're going to heal health or heal damage anyway, equal to whatever your healing rate is in a number of d16s. So if your healing rate is 3, you do heal 3d6 damage, whatever the case is. I'll let you guys adjust that as we hop over to Dre. You can feel this air as it rushes around your body. You can feel yourself falling. And you wonder, why did you come here? Why did you listen to that crazy old man and his plans of killing the devil and leading a rebellion? Would you be one of the souls that you've seen walk the road every night in torment? Their convoy stretching for miles. Then you feel your back as it smashes into the rocks. Bones crunch, and air explodes from your chest in a spray of blood. Your back arches in spasms of pain. It's certainly broken. Your eyes shoot open. You can feel these heavy covers across your body, and you stare up to what looks like a ceiling there. Darkness. The room is cold, very, very cold. And this large, beastly man stands across the way in the doorframe. This gaping hole in the side of his skull, scars and tattoos on his body. It looks like he's walking maybe towards you or towards the other bed, but you're not sure. What do you do?
Well, I kind of groan as I lay there, and I'm I'm feeling my body to assess the damage. I'm in survival mode now, so I'm feeling for the damage and also kind of surreptitiously feeling for, a dagger or something that I could have to protect myself.
You feel good. You don't have any broken bones. Your arms seem to work fine. You're cold, a little bit out of breath. It's like you've woken from a nightmare, a quite vivid nightmare, and you have no idea why or where you are or who this creature is that's coming towards you. But yeah, your blade your trusty dagger would be there, and you can even see what looks to be a sack and some of your gear at the foot of the bed on top of a chest. Barely, a little bit of, well, not really moonlight, but the glow from the streets and stuff comes in a little bit, light it up, so you can see around the room. Halfway decent.
Drawing on, I guess, a little bit of the skill I had growing up as my mother's assistant in her apothecary / surgeon shop, doing a quick kind of, I guess, consultation on myself. Am I sweaty? Am I clammy? Am I feverish?
Not really feverish. You're cold. You're quite clammy and sweaty. But
Okay, so I could potentially deduce that this was a nightmare that I may have had. And okay, so I'm going to ease the grip on my dagger and sit up, shake my head. And is the person walking towards me? Have I sort of assumed the direction that they're coming, or am I not sure still?
Well, Mud, as you turn and close the door to Mornak, you turn over and you can see Vasily under these covers, just in a spasming, almost like in a fit a little bit. And his back arches up almost in pain, just sort of throws his head back and his chest arches up out of the bed. But it's not Vasily that you see there. It's this other man. Seems to be in place. It was Vasily moments ago, and prepped the room and got everything ready. But you don't see your friendly fawn that you knew. Instead, it's just this man. As you take a few steps into this room towards him or your bed, and you can see he quickly sits up and looks around. Both of you lock eyes for a moment.
You, where's Vasily?
So I'm not going to say anything just yet, but I'm going to roll backwards over the bed and grab the dagger from the back of the sheath, and I'm going to assume that I'm Vasily because I've just heard the word Vasily or the name Vasily, and I'm going to stand there and kind of just watch what this half orc or full orc?
Full orc.
Yeah.
If So he is tall, maybe
Yeah.
6'7", 6'8", bald head, covered in scars. And yeah, so if you woke up to her this time, he has no eye patch on, so he's just got like a rotted, gaping hole in the side of his face, scars everywhere on his body. He is missing one or two fingers, and a lot of his other fingers are like a bluish gray from frostbite. If you would have woken up and he was laying in bed, you probably would have thought you woke up next to a corpse. The way he was.
So I'm just going to clutch my dagger and give you a quick kind of, opponent appraisal. And I can see that quite formidable. Well, I mean, is he? Because he's lost some fingers, he's lost an eye. He looks pretty beat up.
Very lanky for an orc, but he's still quite large.
Okay. How far away is the window from where I am?
The room's what, about 25 by 25, so he would be about 15 feet from you. You're over in the corner, so the window will be about 10 feet to your left.
Okay, so the window's closer to me than it is to him.
Yep.
And my gear, you said, was right at the foot of the bed?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to edge myself to the window, and I'll say, "Whoa there, big guy. I don't know who you are or where I am, but I'm just gonna go."
As you're watching, Mud kind of crouch a little, not quite into a full crouch, but hunch over, and the whole room kind of gets colder as some of the frost-bitten parts of his body just start sprouting little shards of ice
Oh.
all over as a layer of like frozen armor will start spreading across his body.
Very cool. And I'll just have my hand up. It's like I'm addressing a wild animal. I'm kind of just nudging my hips against the wall as I move to feel for the window frame without like feeling for it with my hand. I've still got my hand on my dagger, and I've got my other hand out like I'm just trying to ease a wild animal, and I'm saying, hey, it's okay. We're not gonna do this. Not here. I'm just gonna go. We don't need a fight.
Where is Vesely? He was here a moment ago.
I don't know who Vasily is. I don't know who I am. So I'm just, yeah, I don't really want to. Can I roll a perception to see if there's anything loose around, near my feet, or the cover of the bed? Is it like tousled enough that I could flip it at him just to create a distraction?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Would that be just flat perception?
You would definitely find whatever. So if you wanted to flip like that at him or something, it would just be like an agility attack against his agility.
Sure, I can do that.
What's your agility?
Mine's
10.
All right, let's have a look here.
So actually,
Fucking dice.
okay.
It's a 12.
12 total. You would see this man as he sort of grabs this edge of the beds and stuff and sort of flips this blanket, and you're almost like a net towards you, Mud. You'll be able to sort of knock it out of the way, but it definitely gives you a moment, Dre, to try and get out or whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't look like it's going to fully cover them, but you got that brief moment.
I'd just love to grab, the pack that's there. I've got my lucky knife. So that's all I really need is just my pack and my lucky knife. If the other bits of my equipment are there, I can certainly sacrifice those to get out of the room. And I just want to kick out the window or open the window, I guess. First, try to open the window.
The window's open.
Yep.
The window's wide open.
Oh, because of course, like they climbed out the window, yeah? And there's a rope, right?
Even in our room, Mud opens every window he can to make it as cold as possible.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'll just grab my pack and jump out the window.
So is this blanket sort of cloud your vision for just a brief second, Mud? By the time you grab it and sort of knock it down, you can see this man disappearing out the window, dropping down to the street.
I'll glance down the window and try to see which way he's going.
I'm actually not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stand there, and I'm immediately aware that I don't recognize this place. Correct? Like it's.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any clue. Nope.
So I'm going to be a little, I guess, a little stunned, a little shocked. I'm kind of just standing there, and I drop my pack, and I look around, and I think, what the hell is going on?
You can see as you drop down, you'd be on the right side of this place. So you can see what looks to be horse stables over to the side and tons of ravens flocking about here and there and sort of hopping around in the night. Streets mostly empty, besides a few stray birds and rats, cats, and stuff like that. You don't see any people anyway, besides this man looking at you from the window above. And you can see over to your left the sign dangling to the Blue Water Inn, which, again, you've never heard of. And it has a picture of a monkey drinking a big mug of ale on the side of it.
I'm actually just going to look back up at the window, and I still see him standing there, and say, big guy, where am I?
That does explain a few things. I can't answer that. I don't know where we are. More importantly, I don't know how you got here or where our friend has went. But while I'm talking to him, I'm going to grab something like a chair or something like that and throw it towards the door to just try to make noise and get Victor and Ornak's attention in this as well.
I'll put my hand back on my dagger, and I'll say, "Well, what are you doing? What are you doing?"
Bless you. Across the way, Mornek and
Jesus.
Victor, you guys will sort of hear. Are you just like smashing the chair against the door, sort of thing, or?
Yeah, I'm just kind of not even looking, just grabbing it and throwing it towards the door.
Yeah. So
the door, the chair, who cares?
as Mornek and Victor, as you guys settle in, then you would hear that, smash from the other side of the room.
Mornak's going to just jump straight up, kind of pull his cloak on because he's not wearing any of his clothes, maybe his undergarments, and he's going to grab his staff and run next door and be like, "Mud, what's going on?"
Yeah, I think Victor would. I see him wearing at least pants. Like that's how he went to bed. But he would grab his bastard sword and a shield and try some way to like slip the handle in the back of his pants and just like run ready for anything. Like he's just not sure what's going on.
Without taking my eyes off of Dre, Vasily's missing. Our friend here was in his place. There's something going on.
And when you say that, Victor's going to look super confused because to him, Vasily is his imaginary friend that other people can see. So he thinks that you are now like seeing another imaginary friend kind of deal. So he's just going to like walk over slowly, be looking at you the entire time, Bud, and then like slowly peek his head over or like through the window and look down. And then he's going to be like, "Oh, okay. So you're real." And he's going to point down to Dre.
I'm going to grab my pack, and while all this is going on, because I don't know how many people, Mud's calling for, I'm actually just going to grab my pack, and I'm going to run towards the stables.
How big is the window?
Yeah, probably like 3 foot by 2 foot.
Okay. Is it possible for me to like hang out the window and do a Captain America throw the shield at his legs kind of deal? Like honestly, this is the whole reason why I brought the shield.
Certainly. You'd have to give me an agility check and then an attack roll.
Okay. You want to say like with a bane because I'm not proficient in it?
I was gonna say, do you have anything to counteract it?
Well, I am a fighter and I have the soldier background, but I don't really see throwing a shield Captain America style like to help with that.
So yeah, you're gonna have a bane. Just do that on your agility check.
Okay. Well, I do have the combat is it combat paralysis? But anyways, I can make an attack with a boon, so that's just gonna counter. And come on, D20. Sadly, a 9 is what I rolled. Unless I have some icy help, I think
so. As I see him start slipping out, Mud will reach out and kind of put frost along his hand and kind of anchor him to the window frame.
Okay, then that will be a 12 for me.
Does that get your defense? No, I didn't think so. You can see your shield skip across the dirt. It skids just past this man's feet as he kind of hops up and then turns into the stables. You're hanging outside.
You're going to see this shield come skidding past. Stop. Turn. Incredulous. Like as if, did they just throw a shield at me?
Yep, and Victor's going to immediately say, stop, don't run, non-imaginary friend of Mud's.
I'm looking at this shield.
And with that,
I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? Like,
with that, Mornak's going to go ahead and cast message. And so he's going to speak directly into Dre's mind and be like, no, honestly, I swear we're the good guys. Come on back.
I'll take a defensive posture and look around for that voice.
Besides this man hanging from a window and these people peering out the window.
Throwing shields.
See anybody else? You've caught the attention of quite a flock of ravens in the stables who watch you curiously, but they don't really do anything.
So I'm kind of just looking from the guy half hanging out the window to the shield to the ravens and just slowly kind of edging my way to the stable.
So can I tell that this guy has no idea what's going on here?
Probably make the assumption.
God, we're the good guys.
But, well, would we have heard that? Like, because didn't Mornak message that in his head?
He messaged it, yep.
Yeah.
Of course you would get 3.
Now I roll a 6 on the die, right?
Mornak's going to try using the the message to communicate with him again and be like, who are you? Where did you come from? Come, talk to us.
So I'm hearing this voice and I'm going to shout. Well, where are you? Show me.
Mornak shoves Victor out of the way and kind of waves from the window.
Out the window?
Well, Victor's, he's going to be shoved out of the way, but he's going to like try to maneuver himself to where he could stick his head out the window as well, because he wants to see too. Like, he don't want to
This is straight up a scene from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly. Adding a little bit of comedy to a very dark game. I like it. Okay, so a couple of things are going to go through my mind, or Dre's mind, would be these guys are not as dangerous as I may have thought they would have been at first, because they kind of seem a little adorable. They're a little bumbling.
I call Mo. I'm Mo.
Yeah, right. They look formidable until they start trying to do stuff, and you go, "Oh, okay. like I look at the shield and I just flip the shield up and pick it up and I go, like I sort of shake my head and think, okay, like let's take this for a ride, shall we? And I start walking back, mumbling to myself to the inn because I mean, what else am I going to do? Steal a horse and ride somewhere I don't know in an area that I don't know. Um, so at least I figure I could get some answers, and if I don't like the answers I get, I could always just slip out the window again and dodge another icy shield.
Um, are you like walking back towards the window, or are you walking to the front of the inn to like come in?
Walking to the front of the inn, yeah.
Okay. Victor's gonna shout. Can you? He's gonna first try to say it, but then he sees you pick up the shield, and he's like, "Yeah, thank you for getting my shield."
I'll give you like a little half salute.
So before heading down, Lorian, I want to see if any of Vasily's stuff is in this room.
If you go over to the bed, you can see the imprint, or, where the sheets are sort of ruffled up in place, but it's just tufts of his brownish colored fur and smears of what looks, you can assume, is dried blood.
And when I came into the room, Vasily was there.
Yes. As far as, until you opened the door and spoke with Mornak, it wasn't until you turned around that he was gone.
All right.
Give me a perception check.
Will, being a hunter, give me a boon on this.
Sure.
Because, I'm so perceptive with that one eye. 15.
Yeah, if you move the blankets around a little bit as you look over, you'll see wisps of this smoky fog sort of drift off his bed and fall to the floor and dissipate.
All right. So I'm assuming the mist took him back. None of his equipment, nothing like that.
That where his equipment was is what this fellow grabbed up, but you didn't see any of his notable crossbow or anything. It was just this man's stuff.
All right, I'll follow the others down. Now, I'll meet them down there a few moments later after I put on my fur coats and eye patch and cover a lot of myself up again.
Place isn't locked up, Dre, as you come around the side, but you can see the tavern keepers, wherever it seems to be closed for the evening. There's still, a few sconces on, and stuff is cleaned up, but it's not like closed.
The innkeeper there, like cleaning up and stuff.
Yeah, you would see him probably beyond the kitchen area, but
okay, cool. So I'm assuming there's just a bunch of free tables and chairs.
Yep.
Cool. I'll just put the shield on a table and grab a chair and kind of wait for them to come down to me.
Okay, so Victor Mornak and probably Mud, after you grabbed your stuff, start to come down. You see Erwin steps out of the kitchen and he'll sort of stop as he looks in your direction, Dre. This large, obese man, this big gray and black beard hanging down to his belly. He says, "Hi, who are you? Can't you see we're closed? Don't you know how to read the sign?"
And I'll kind of smirk and just point upstairs and say, I was asleep.
I don't remember giving you a key. Are you with those other fellows?
Yeah.
Well, Father Lucian said there was only 4. Now there's 5. I'm gonna have to charge you, Just a simple coin.
Yeah, that's okay. You can put it on the big orcs account.
Well, we're just cleaning up the kitchen and headed to bed. We're locking the doors and sort of walk across the room. Gives you a bit of a curious glance as he does, and you can see he deadbolts the door and sets a few shutters closed and says, "You're welcome to stay down here if you want. Just make sure the fire is put out."
Yeah, and I'll just give him like a huge, like big Cheshire grin and say, "Yeah, of course. I got it."
look over his shoulder as he steps up the stairs. His wife behind him as they head upstairs. No, past you,
Grinning,
Vic.
giving me a little wave, just a little half salute. And then,
Yo.
as soon as they're out of sight, the grin fades, and I'm just back to kind of being really just very conscious and very wary.
You'll see this innkeeper come up as you're headed down, Mud, and hi. You owe me a coin for your friend. He said to put it on your tab.
First, I'll mute myself. I'll just shake my head and hand him a coin out of my pocket.
I didn't see the lad come in. But
Yeah. I think he might be more the sneaky sort.
we've had a bit of that tonight. And he sort of glances around. He'll lock eyes with you for a moment, Mornak, but he doesn't seem to realize it was you that was reading his mind. He says, a few strange things this evening. The doors are locked. Don't open them, eh? My wife and I, we had a few words, and I'll talk to you in the morning about that whole winery thing. Perhaps I'd be happy to pay. Says, but I need my rest. Until turn and sort of looks over his shoulder at all of you as he walks down the hall. So, patrons.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because Victor is still like half naked, has his bastard sword, and sadly he doesn't have a shield. But like, does he say anything as he walks past Victor? And I'm assuming like Mordak's kind of dressed like I am, like not fully clothed kind of deal, but we're armed.
Yeah, he'd probably give you the curious glance, but I mean, he's seen worse things, I'm sure.
Okay.
When we get down, I'll lock eyes with Dre and go behind the counter and pour out some whatever they have, ale. I know they're short on wine, so I'll pour out some ales for all four of us.
Warnack's gonna march right up to Dre and be like, look, I was the voice in your head. That's kind of what I do. It's not going to be the first time. Well, I guess it was the first time, but it won't be the last time. So just be prepared for that.
And Victor's gonna walk up and kind of like poke. Just to make sure that he's real, because he did technically miss with a shield, but he could have been a ghost for all Victor knows, or Bud's imaginary friend. And then after like seeing that he's like real, he'd be like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense now, and just kind of walk over and like grab his shield.
Yeah, you dropped that.
Thank you for bringing it back.
Thank you for throwing it at me.
Well, to be honest, I was trying to hit you, but not like to hurt you, mind you. Just trying to get you to stop. So why were you running?
Well, honestly, because I wasn't sure if someone was going to throw a shield at me or not.
Well, hopefully I won't throw one again in the future.
Yeah, don't lose that. I hear they're pretty handy.
I'll slam the ales down. How did you end up in Vasili's bed? I mean, I know he's a sweet talker, but this is new.
I'll look at the tankard and I'll just look at Mud and I'll go, I don't drink, big guy. And I don't know who Vasily is. I don't know who you guys are. I don't even know where I am. Yeah, I need some answers before I can answer your questions.
Well, I'm Victor, and as he's saying that, like if Mud or Mornak drinks from their ale, like Victor will take his and like refill theirs, like as they're or when they put theirs back on the table, because he doesn't drink either, so he just kind of passes it off onto them.
Yeah, so the truth of the matter is I knew Mornak really only drinks the wine. I knew Victor didn't drink. So I really brought 3 for myself and 1 for the new guy.
Well, Victor would still like pour your, top you off, like, because he's just that kind of person.
Yeah, Mornak's just gonna push it over towards you, Mud, and be like, "No, that's filthy."
Yeah. So
this is Mud, and then this is Mornak. Of course, we had Vasily, my imaginary goat friend, but where is Vasily? Why? What happened to Vasily there, Mud? Wasn't he sleeping in the room with you?
he was. Now, our new friend, what was your name?
Do I remember my name?
Yes, you would. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll kind of sit back, and I'm kind of getting the sense that if things kick off, I could slip out the door. So I'm gonna adopt more of a relaxed posture so that my new friends can feel a little bit easier. And I'll just say, I'm Dre.
So you would remember everything growing up and that sort of thing, all the way up to, I'll let you totally decide how you fell off the tower and, what your background is, waking up in the field and stuff. Like everything from there back, you would remember. Everything in between, you don't really remember where you were or what happened until you get to that moment of facing this man in the bedroom that had the opening. That whole little area would be just no idea.
Sure.
You're not really sure if that would be to you, you would assume it's a dream, but again.
Yeah. So I guess to me it'd be just, I don't know where I am, but this isn't where I'm from. This doesn't feel right. This place doesn't feel right.
I think we're all in the same boat on that one. Here's what I can tell you. We're in a town called Valakai. If you've never heard of that, it's about the same situation we're in.
Malachi, you got a map?
No, it's all I know so far is we were on our way to Morgan. I forget the city's name from the very beginning.
Amberport.
Amberport. We were on our way to Amberport. Got stuck in some kind of mist.
To clarify, them, not me. I wasn't with them yet.
True.
So the city of Amberport, Dre, you would recognize from maybe your home world or something. It is a major city that went through ruins at one point in time and was completely destroyed through like an apocalyptic earthquake and stuff. But they were rebuilding the city and looking for people to come in and begin teaching the children and rebuilding the guard and bringing people basically just to repopulate the city and get it moving once again. You prior to whatever happened to you, but you would be familiar with this. That seems like they're from the same world anyway.
Same world, same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So I'll nod very thoughtfully, and then I'll look at the shield thrower, and I'll say, and what's your story?
Well, for me, my story is very long, and in trying to remember all of it, it's quite difficult. But from what I remember is, I was been traveling around for reasons, and somehow I ended up trapped in I guess you would say it was a haunted mansion. Been stuck there for extremely long time. Could not escape, which sometimes I do still think I'm back there, or may travel back there at any moment. And until these guys came along and freed me out of that said prison, I just been kind of traveling with them since. So they kind of helped me, and I believe that they can break whatever curse may be on this place.
Okay. And then
Sadly-
I'll just look to Mornak and just point and go, and you're weird.
Mornak's going to go ahead and just start nodding. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. Well, I guess the next step is how do we get home?
The mist has something to do with it. And I'll look towards Victor Mornak. The bed vastly laid in. There was hints of the mist around it. I think it took him back. And Mud will pull out that small bound leather book of children's tales and all, and he'll pull a black and like gold inlaid card out. There's a symbol of a raven on it. And I'll show it to Dre. Does this mean anything to you?
Are you talking about your tarot card?
Yeah, my tarot
Okay.
card.
You doing that, Victor will pull his out as well. Actually, he would run upstairs, grab his, and run back downstairs.
I got one too.
I'll look to my DM that's sitting on my left shoulder and say, does that mean anything to me?
Yeah, you don't recognize him.
Okay,
I mean, you've
cool.
probably seen tarot cards before, but nothing.
Sure, yep.
Did you
So
say
I'll,
did you say the imp on your left shoulder?
no, the DM.
Oh, the DL. I was just saying, do we have another character with an imaginary friend now?
Yeah, I thought so too. And I was kind of giggling inside, but then I heard the words DM instead of that. So
So I'll roll my eyes and I'll kick my feet up and say, what are you gonna read me my fortune?
I could try if you like, but I'm
I
not
was
very good at it.
I don't
Oh.
it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just need to know how to get home. The cards tell you how to get home.
But we're still trying to figure out.
Well,
How did you get here?
I don't know. I don't remember coming here. I just remember waking up in the bed. Well, I did have a weird dream last night. I haven't had a dream like that ever. I think I died.
I've died multiple times. It's not pleasant. I'm sorry. If that's your first one. I will say that it does not get better either. Like, it just, yeah, it doesn't feel good.
I'm just gonna give Victor the flat there I can. Just so flat. And then I'll look back to Mud and I'll say, yeah, I don't know, and I'm really sorry about your friend. I hope he's okay.
You feel this cold brush of, almost feels just like a breath of air on the back of your neck, bud. I don't believe him, you know. To me, I think he killed him. He killed your friend, bud. Look at that. Look at the way he smirks. He mocks you. Are you just going to sit there like a pansy little goblin?
Without without anybody knowing what's going on after sitting there for a couple seconds, Mud will crush the tankard in his hand and just turn and throw it behind him, and all the air nearby will get chilly.
Yeah, okay. I'm sitting up and I'm holding my long knife. I'm a little wary.
Victor's just going to slide another ale in front of Mud. And he does this sometimes. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but we all have special quirks. You should have met Vasily. You would have loved Vasily.
Quirks. I guess that's one way to put it.
Well, how would you put it?
Actually, I don't know how I would put it.
So I guess that kind of brings the question: what kind of dark and horrible past have happened to you, Dre, that made you kind of special in a way, like us?
I'm still watching Mud, and I'm going to ease my feet back up onto the table and adopt that sort of fake relaxed posture. But I'm very wary of the way that Mud is acting, and I'm going to look at Victor and say, "Nothing. I'm perfectly normal," and give him a little wink.
Really, like Victor's gonna believe you 100%. Like, really? Oh, it must be nice to be normal.
And now I don't know if he's like taking the piss, so I'm just going to give him a stare again. Like, guy, this guy doesn't pick up on sarcasm or something. Like, he must be on the spectrum or something. I've never encountered this kind of thing before. I'm like, is this guy for real?
So I think at this point, Mud's going to be looking Dre up and down and looking for any signs of wear and tear or Vasily's blood or anything like that. Because, yeah, Mud's wondering if he killed Vasily.
You won't have any of the blood on you, Dre. I mean, it's up to you how much wear and tear, bruises, or depending on what you've been up to before all of this, if you'd have any marks or anything like that. But I mean,
Visually, I just have a kind of bedraggled look to me. If you could imagine Tom Holland with a scraggly beard and kind of long, lankish hair, but visually, there's nothing that really sets me apart. Even though I've got a background as like a soldier and quite an extensive career in combat, I don't appear to have, well, on the surface at least, I don't appear to have any discerning sort of features that mark me apart. There's no scars on my face. My hands are rough. They're calloused from, practicing with all sorts of weapons. I'm not particularly well built. I'm very lithe and athletic. It's what you see is what you get from the surface. But underneath the armor that I'm wearing, the leather armor that I'm wearing, there's a couple of cuts and a couple of scars that have been healed. But that's an example of the kind of fighter I am. Like I don't get hit often, but you could tell that if I got hit, it'd probably hurt. So there are a couple of broken bones in my past, but in terms of cuts and scars, there's not a whole lot.
yeah, you wouldn't see anything that really confirms that thought, Mud.
It's not sure he believes it, but kind of had to check and had to be sure. And I think after a second or two of looking you up and down, Dre, you'll see Mud kind of relax a little bit when he doesn't see anything. Well, you're not sure what he's looking for, but he didn't find what he was looking for. So Mud actually relaxes a little bit, takes one or two glances behind him, and then just calms.
Okay, I visually see that.
And when Mud does that, you see Mornak also relaxes, and he kind of looks over at Victor and just kind of nods to him.
Yeah, Victor's been relaxed this entire time. Like he's here. But like if you looked at Victor at all, like he looks plain, just like plain Jane. You would meet him along the street. Just nothing super extraordinary pops out until like basically he opens his mouth. That's when everything starts going wonky.
I get that.
Well, we're stuck here as well. We don't. Well, Mornak and I don't know how we got here. We're trying to get out. We're going to look for this wizard or mother, see if one of them can
We
get us.
got our fortunes told by Madame Ava, remember? And she talked to us about her cards and how they have special meanings. And
I just want to leave. I don't care to kill this beast.
But I don't think we can, Mud, unless we break this curse on this land. I think that's the issue. That's why this place is like it is, because of that.
So, not knowing Dre's story, would probably still turn around and after Victor says it, say, "Well, if you want to help kill the red-eyed devil."
Do I remember the dream that I had?
Yep.
Okay, so that's going to get my attention a little, and I'll sit up. And I guess if this was a movie, there'd be a flashback of red eyes and pain from a blade in my gut
You'll
and hands
notice,
around my throat.
sorry not to interrupt, but when he mentions the devil, you'll have that pain in your gut sort of shoots through your body for a moment. And if you happen to glance down, you can see where blood is starting to seep through your armor.
Crazy. Cool. So I'll put a hand there very very surreptitiously, just to apply a bit of pressure. That's the that's the medicine in me kicking on. And I'm a little, my heart rate's starting to spike and the adrenaline's starting to flood my peripheral sort of systems. And I'm looking at Mud and I say, "Tell me about the devil."
Strahd. From what we know, Strahd is what brings people here, what keeps them here, and who oppresses the people. They call him the beast or the demon or the devil.
Mud, be careful. Don't say his name aloud.
Why is he gonna pop up behind us? And Victor's starting to look around the room, curious if this guy's gonna actually show up.
That's making Mornak nervous, so now they're both looking around for anything.
Both of you give me a perception check, please.
Oh snap!
All of us?
No, just those two.
Oh, there's Waldo.
I only got a 10, sadly.
14.
So, because you glance around, you don't see the devil, but you do see a large, hulking sort of figure standing outside the window. This looks to be across the street, across and right next to a house or so, and just staring in your direction, almost like watching through the window. And you can't see the features, just the silhouettes. And it seems like you lock eyes. You can't see his, but you get that awkward moment of staring back. And then he'll just turn and start walking away. And everybody sits in silence.
Mornak's going to is going to turn to everyone else and say, "Did you see that?"
See what, Mornak?
There was a shadow out there. Someone was watching us.
Huh. We are a bit of a curiosity, aren't we?
Well, I guess that is one way to put it.
Oh, this devil. He's real or he's myth? I'm confused.
Well, we met one of his servants. I don't know. What about Jack? what do we think Jack was? Was he just like a follower, maybe, or?
Jack was a prick.
Well, I mean, that's besides the point. No
Well,
one-
I'm more concerned with the elf we met earlier tonight. The one with the cloak. That was earlier tonight, right?
yeah, that's
Yes.
Yep.
Strahd's minion.
Yeah.
Remember, he had all the wolves with him, and
He's real as far as we can tell.
And he's cursed this place
There are some reminders for Chrissy and Kevin.
with a Christian Kevin curse.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Tell me about the curse.
We don't know much, but the mist brought us and keeps us here.
there's no daylight or sunlight, I guess you would say, because it's always cloudy. That never seems to go away.
Did anybody mention what Strahd was?
No,
I didn't think so.
besides the devil.
Right. I didn't think
The only thing Mud just, well, I guess Warnock and Mud, you guys would have known that Ismark mentioned that the devil visited Irina. The only thing Mud would have noticed, since he's the only one that saw it, would be the punctures on her neck when he was working on her to heal her. But I don't know if Mud is, that's up to you, if Mud can connect the dots there. But
I very much doubt that. Mud's first jaunt into civilization was when he met Mordak and Vasily. Yeah, we don't know much about the devil or the curse yet, but we're looking to find out when we're looking to get out of this place. I don't know what brought you here, but you may want to stay close if you're looking to escape as well.
Yeah, I think that might be for the best. And then could I just assume that these guys would catch me up on all the events,
yeah.
gone through all the information that they've been given. Really?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, I probably while we're sitting here, catch up on most of it, and then Muddle go take the room. I usually prefer outside anyway.
So they would sort of catch up on everything that's, they were started at a tavern that was assaulted by undead things, and they took off basically to escape into the night. Ended up here, went through a house that was supposed to be helping these children, but it was much more haunted than they expected. Main bits, though, is they met Ismark, who was the new burgomaster of a town called Barovia, which you would have heard of.
The main bit is they met Awesome Victor in that haunted house. That is the main bit.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Everything else is minor.
And that they accompanied a young lady, Ismark's sister, named Irina, here to Valakai, because she seems to be haunted or desired by the devil. They passed through a gypsy camp and talked to this old lady, Madame Eva, who gave them a tarot reading, and I'll actually link that up over in the Curse of Strahd thing for you, so you can browse through it. It's up to you guys. You probably would have at least caught them up on it a little bit, but and they're now here.
The tarot reading. So if you guys just tell me what cards you got, I'll be up to scratch with that.
It's totally different from the book.
Oh,
So
juicy.
I honestly,
I think in addition to the video, I think you did send a doc out for the.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so a quick read. Just before you get too far in that, and I kind of glanced around for Vasily's stuff, but now as we're talking about it, Mud will go back up to the room and search to see if Vasily's card is there.
Yes. that would be left. Maybe if you search under blankets around the floor or something, but yeah, you definitely find it.
He'll put that with his own.
It would be the swashbuckler.
Oh, he had two, didn't he?
He did. Swashbuckler and the druid.
I think that sounds right because I think Mornak had the.
I had the ghost card.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, the druid and the swashbuckler is what you would find both of those.
Okay, I'll add those to my within the little booklet I carry around.
And while Mud's gone, Mornak is going to go ahead and explain what happened with Mother, about how he was imprisoned by her and barely escaped. And he's going to just go ahead and fill Victor and Dre in on everything that's happened with that so they know what's going on for tomorrow.
So Dre will kind of just sit there and say, so we're killing your mom tomorrow.
Not my mom, my captor.
Okay.
And we don't have to kill her, but I would prefer if we do.
Well, and also don't forget, we may or may not have taken a side job of going to collect or seeing what happened to the wine. But he said he would pay us like over 100 gold or something like that. So, I mean, it's a pretty hefty job, but we don't necessarily have to do it. But
No, I think we need coin.
well, I mean, that's why I would like to do it, but I know what you want to do it for, Mornak.
I think we need to see if this wizard can get us out of here.
I'm wondering if that name is just a name and if he's not actually a wizard.
I'd like to meet this wizard.
I'll lean over to Mornak and say, I'm not actually wet dirt. It's just a name.
I'm not really psychic.
I'm fairly certain Mud is quite drunk at this point, too, because I'm sure he would have just kept helping himself.
Well, I kind of see like Mud like whisper or lean over to whisper to Mornak, but he doesn't whisper, and the opposite, he kind of yells it. And so like Victor's gonna be kind of sitting there. He's like, "Are you guys making fun of me?" Like not quite realizing what's going on.
Well, seems we have a lot of decisions and a long day ahead of us.
Yeah, can we go back to sleep?
I'd like to at least put pants on.
I'd rather just go to sleep. Like, why do you need to put on clothes to go to sleep?
I'll hand Dre the key to the room. Close the window if you like.
I'll make my way upstairs. Am I still bleeding?
Yeah, not like heavily or anything, but definitely seeping blood. Yeah.
Do I notice that?
You can give me a perception check.
12.
Are you trying to hide it, Trey?
Not trying to hide it, more just trying to stifle the bleeding with pressure.
So yeah, you could see a little bit. It's not bleeding heavily or anything, but you could definitely see some blood across the stomach.
As he goes to walk by, Mud will put his hand on his shoulder, and it'll get real cold around where his hand goes in. But he'll cast a faith healing on Dre, and then just tap him and actually walk out the door to go sleep in the alley by the stables.
Because that's not creepy at all. Sorry.
Gave me a cold touch and then walked outside to sleep in the alley. We sure Mud's not the devil?
So, I'm not kidding. Mud was basically alone on the tundra for years until he met up with Mordak and Vasily. He does not understand social interaction real well.
Cool.
So, Dre, do you head up to get some rest for the evening?
Yeah, I'll head back into the room and doff the armor and inspect the gut wound.
It's going to be mostly scarred over and everything. You can see it's healed up now too since he cast the spell, but it's sore, and you can see it's just a gut wound that you don't ever remember having, quite deep across your whole midsection. And if you feel on your back, you can see where it looks like you were, plunged by a sword right through your gut and out the back. And yeah, you wouldn't remember it, but it's sore and it's tender.
Cool. Not cool, but cool.
And Victor and Warnock, do the two of you head up to go to bed as well?
Yes.
Yep.
So we'll call it in a moment. But Mud, as you walk down the side alley and take a rest in these stables, you'll see a large draft horses there to the side, much larger, one that would pull like a heavy wagon of some sort. Is there, it seems to be munching on a bit of hay, and there's large brown eyes sort of stare back at you. And you look around, and up above you see these ravens. There's about 14 of them all nested up in the rafters. One particular one hops out along one of these rafters and stares down at you, cocks its head to the side, this curious look. Both wings on either side are tipped in white. You've seen this one before. Seems like it's been following you since Barovia. It's the same one Vasily pointed out quite a few times. None of the other ravens have this white anyway, so it just watches. And then you'll see a second one come out. This one is much larger. It seems to be maybe older. Looks a little bit rougher. The feathers are scruffed up a bit. Looks like it eats quite well. Then you'll see a third, much smaller than all the rest, and then a fourth, that one small as well. Perhaps just younger hatchlings or something. And they'll all just stare there for a few moments in curiosity, just watching before they flitter back to their nest. Do you do anything?
I think he'll stare for a long while and then kind of take some whatever scraps he has in his coat pockets and throw it out on the ground before getting himself comfortable.
Do you stand there for a few moments and get yourself comfortable down, chew on a piece of jerky or something in your pack? You can hear just soft at first, just a footstep, and then a second. Look over your shoulder. You see this figure standing in the alleyway, quite tall, imposing. Left side of his body is much larger than the other. You've seen him a couple times now, but he'll stride in. You can see the glow from inside the tavern casts out across his body. This large man, maybe 6'10", 7 foot, even probably a couple inches above you. Just this huge, massive, the whole left side of his body sort of deformed and grotesque looking a little bit. Has a large axe on either hands. Locks eyes with you for a few moments. Do we have a problem here this evening?
None that I know of. Just trying to get some rest. Do we have a problem?
Stare down at you for a few. As long as you are gone by the morning, no. And he'll walk by and sort of give your boot a kick as he does so. Filthy orcs. It takes a few steps. We'll call it there for the evening. There is a picture of him over in the chat there too.
Yeah, I saw that picture. He looks hefty.
Oh, I wish I would have seen that before I talked back to him. I would have tipped him.
All right, stop it.